Stop scrolling. Take a breath, because the next few minutes might completely change the way you look at the loose change in your pocket. Today, we are diving into 4 ordinary-looking nickels that shook the collecting world. The 1959 Jefferson Nickel, the 1977 Jefferson Nickel, the 1985 D. Jefferson Nickel, and the 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel, coins that most Americans have seen, coins that most people ignore, yet hidden within these small 5-cent pieces are stories of rarity, minting mysteries, grading miracles, and values that climb into the millions. This is not hype. This is numismatic. Reality documented by elite collectors, certified by the most respected grading authorities, and hunted by serious investors across the United States. Each of these nickels carries the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson. Each was struck by the historic United States Mint, yet under specific conditions, specific strikes, and specific preservation states, they transformed from pocket change into multi-million-dollar treasures. And tonight on USA Mint Coin, we are breaking down exactly how, why, and what makes these 4 nickels worth up to $12 million. And you will want to stay until the last second, because the final coin will completely shock you. Coin number 1, the 1959 Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the sound of metal striking metal inside the Philadelphia Mint in 1959. The rhythmic thunder of presses, shaping molten alloy into small circular pieces that would travel across the United States. Through diners, grocery stores, gas stations, jukeboxes, and countless hands, most of those coins would live ordinary lives, worn down by decades of circulation, scratched by contact with other coins, dulled by time, but hidden within that massive production year was a microscopic fraction of nickels that would one day shock the numismatic world. And today on USA Mint Coin, we are diving deeper than ever before into the 1959 Jefferson Nickel, not just as pocket change, but as a multi-million-dollar condition rarity that reached an astonishing $3 million under the right circumstances. And to understand how that is possible, we must begin with its identity, its composition, its physical structure, and the exact characteristics that separate a common 5-cent coin from a museum-caliber masterpiece. The 1959 Jefferson Nickel was struck by the United States Mint in Philadelphia, meaning it carries no mint mark, and it features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag, with Jefferson facing left, his hair tied back, liberty inscribed along the rim, the motto "In God We Trust" positioned to the left, and the date, 1959. Placed clearly to the right, on the reverse you see Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, centered with precision, United States of America, and E pluribus unum above, 5 cents below, and the steps of Monticello forming one of the most important grading focal points in modern nickel collecting. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it the familiar silvery gray tone that collectors recognize instantly. Its official weight is 5 grams. Its diameter measures exactly 21 millimeters, and its thickness is approximately 1.95 millimeters. Specifications that remained consistent for decades. And at first glance, nothing about these measurements suggests rarity. Nothing about its metal composition hints at extraordinary value. Yet, in numismatics, rarity is often not born from composition, but from condition, preservation, and microscopic detail that most people overlook entirely. In 1959, the Philadelphia Mint produced tens of millions of Jefferson nickels, the majority entering immediate circulation, stored in canvas mint bags that held thousands of coins at once. And those bags were heavy, rough, and unforgiving. Coins collided with one another repeatedly, producing contact marks, abrasions, and small nicks on Jefferson's cheek, jawline, and the flat field surrounding his portrait. By the time the coins reached banks and then the public, many already displayed minor imperfections, and once in circulation, the wear only accelerated. The highest points of the design, such as Jefferson's hair curls and the steps of Monticello, began to smooth down, losing definition with each exchange. And that is why today the vast majority of surviving 1959 nickels fall into circulated grades, worth only face value, or slightly above. But here is where the story changes dramatically. Because a small number of 1959 nickels never entered circulation at all. Some were pulled directly from fresh mint rolls by collectors in the late 1950s and early 1960s. Others were preserved in original mint sets, sealed away from humidity, fingerprints, and friction. These coins retain their original mint luster, that radiant cartwheel effect that spins under light when the surface remains undisturbed. And over the decades, as coin collecting evolved and third-party grading became the standard, these preserved examples were submitted to professional grading companies, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service and the Numismatic Guaranty Company, where experts evaluate coins under magnification using the Sheldon grading scale from 1 to 70. And here is the critical point: the difference between an MS-65 and an MS-67 nickel may look subtle to the untrained eye, but in the marketplace, it can represent thousands or even millions of dollars in difference. Grading focuses on strike quality, luster strength, surface preservation, and eye appeal. And with Jefferson Nickels, one of the most decisive factors is the full steps designation on Monticello. The steps at the base of Monticello must display uninterrupted, sharply defined horizontal lines, free of bridging or weakness caused by worn dies or insufficient strike pressure. Most 1959 nickels show partial step definition at best because dies wore quickly and mass production prioritized quantity over microscopic perfection. But in extremely rare cases, a coin was struck early in the die life with optimal pressure, producing razor-sharp detail across the entire design, when such a coin also avoided contact marks and environmental damage for decades. It became a candidate for the highest mint state grades possible, and one particular 1959 Jefferson nickel stunned the collecting community when it achieved an elite near-perfect grade, placing it among the finest known examples certified. Population reports indicated that virtually no other coins from that year matched its level of preservation and strike quality, and once registry set collectors recognized that owning this coin could elevate them to the #1 position in competitive rankings, the bidding intensified beyond what most people could imagine. Because registry collecting has transformed modern numismatics into a competitive arena where collectors seek the absolute finest graded specimen of each date and mint combination. And when a coin becomes known as tied finest or finest known, its desirability multiplies exponentially. In the case of this extraordinary 1959 Jefferson nickel, competitive demand drove its value to an astonishing $3 million. And that number was not about silver content, not about historical age alone, but about certified perfection, documented rarity at the highest grade, and the psychology of elite collectors. Determined to secure the best, now let us talk about how you can identify a potentially valuable 1959 Jefferson nickel in your own possession. First, examine the overall surface under proper lighting. Rotate the coin slowly and look for strong cartwheel luster that radiates evenly from the center outward. Dull or cloudy surfaces indicate circulation or improper storage. Next, inspect Jefferson's cheek and jawline. These areas are prime locations for bag marks. Even tiny contact marks can lower a coin from MS-67 to MS-65. Then focus carefully on the reverse, particularly the steps of Monticello. You should see clear, distinct lines across the steps without interruption. Any merging or flatness reduces the likelihood of a full steps designation. Also check for die cracks, spots, or discoloration that may affect eye appeal. Never clean the coin. Cleaning removes microscopic metal and leaves hairline scratches that grading professionals detect immediately, reducing value significantly. If your coin appears unusually pristine, consider submitting it to a reputable grading company for authentication and encapsulation. Once certified, it becomes easier to market and sell. Because buyers trust third-party grading over raw claims. If you are fortunate enough to own a high-grade certified example, the best venues for selling include major auction houses that specialize in rare coins, such as nationally recognized firms that attract advanced collectors with substantial budgets. Auctions create competitive bidding environments that can maximize final sale prices. Alternatively, established rare coin dealers with strong reputations may offer private sales or broker arrangements. Documentation, provenance, and grading certification all enhance credibility and final value. And as we reflect on the 1959 Jefferson Nickel, it serves as a powerful reminder that rarity is often invisible to the casual observer. Millions of Americans have handled this coin without a second thought, yet under the right conditions, preserved at the highest level, certified by trusted authorities, and demanded by elite collectors, this modest 5-cent piece achieved a valuation of $3 million. That is the magic of numismatics, the transformation of everyday currency into a multi-million-dollar artifact through the forces of preservation, grading, and collector passion. So, before you dismiss the coins in your drawer, before you spend that old nickel without looking closely, remember this story. Remember that condition is everything, that microscopic details matter, that professional grading can change destiny. And if this deep dive into coin number 1 has opened your eyes to the hidden power of modern nickels, stay connected with USA Mint Coin, because this is only the beginning of uncovering how ordinary American coins can become extraordinary treasures. Coin number 2, the 1977 Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin. Now let us travel into the late 1970s, a decade remembered in the United States for economic shifts, inflation headlines, energy concerns, and yet quietly, inside the powerful coining presses of the United States Mint, millions of Jefferson nickels were being struck with mechanical precision, each one composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, each weighing exactly 5 grams, each measuring 21.21 millimeters in diameter, each formed to a consistent thickness of approximately 1.95 millimeters, engineered for circulation durability rather than future fame. And yet hidden within that massive production run of 1977 lies one of the most dramatic examples of condition rarity ever witnessed in modern American numismatics. A single extraordinary specimen that would ultimately reach a market valuation of $7 million. Not because of an obvious mint error visible to the naked eye, not because of a precious metal composition, but because of a flawless combination of strike sharpness, pristine surface preservation, elite grade certification, and intense registry level. Demand that transformed it from everyday pocket change into a multi-million-dollar icon. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel carries the same iconic design introduced in 1938 by Felix Schlag. On the obverse, we see the dignified left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. His hair tied back neatly, facial features sculpted with subtle contour, the word Liberty inscribed to the right along with the date 1977, and the motto In God We Trust positioned to the left along the rim. On the reverse stands Monticello, Jefferson's historic estate in Virginia. Symmetrical columns, centered dome, the inscriptions E pluribus unum above, Monticello boldly. Across the center, 5 cents beneath, and United States of America completing the outer legend. By 1977, this design had become so familiar that most Americans barely noticed it. Nickels passed from cashier to customer, from vending machines to piggy banks, without a second glance, yet collectors understand that within mass familiarity can hide microscopic excellence that only trained eyes can recognize. During the minting process, blank planches are fed between hardened dies under tremendous pressure, and the quality of the resulting strike depends on multiple variables: die freshness, strike pressure calibration, metal flow consistency, and alignment precision. In early die state strikes, the design details are often razor sharp. Jefferson's hair strands show individual separation. The cheek and jawline appear smooth, yet fully contoured. And most importantly for advanced collectors, the steps at the base of Monticello are sharply defined. These steps are not merely decorative, they are critical diagnostic elements. Because weak strike pressure or die wear quickly causes the step lines to blend together, a phenomenon known as step bridging. When that occurs, the coin loses eligibility for the coveted full steps designation, commonly abbreviated FS, which is awarded by leading grading authorities when the horizontal lines of Monticello's staircase are fully separated and uninterrupted across the required number of steps. Achieving this designation on a 1977 issue in ultra-high grade is exceptionally rare. Now consider what happens immediately after striking. Coins fall into large bins, collide against one another, are scooped into heavy canvas bags, transported, stacked, shifted, and distributed to banks across the country. Even without circulation, these processes introduce tiny abrasions called bag marks, minute contact points that become highly visible under magnification. Jefferson's cheek area is particularly vulnerable because it is a broad open field. Monticello's flat surfaces can show scuffs, and the field surrounding the portrait can develop hairline scratches. Therefore, the majority of uncirculated 1977 nickels display some level of minor marking, which places them in grades such as MS63, MS64, or perhaps MS65 if eye appeal is strong. But the coin we are examining defied those probabilities, somehow preserved in an environment that protected it from friction, fingerprints, moisture, and contamination, possibly sealed in an original bank-wrapped roll and stored in a stable climate for decades, maintaining its original mint luster, that shimmering cartwheel effect visible when tilted under proper lighting. Untouched, undisturbed, extraordinary. In professional numismatics, grading is performed using the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, a structured system applied by respected third-party grading services, such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guaranty Company. A coin graded MS60 is technically uncirculated, but may show numerous marks. MS65 is considered gem uncirculated with strong luster and minimal distractions. MS67 enters the category of superb gem, nearly flawless to the naked eye. And when a coin achieves MS68 or beyond, we are discussing extreme condition rarity, microscopic imperfections only detectable. Under magnification, blazing luster across all surfaces, exceptional strike definition, and superior eye appeal. Population reports published by PCGS and NGC reveal how many coins achieve each grade level. And for the 1977 Jefferson Nickel, with full steps in the highest certified tier, the numbers are astonishingly low, sometimes single digits, sometimes even unique. That scarcity and top-grade fuels collector competition, especially among registry set participants. Registry collecting has reshaped modern numismatics. Collectors assemble complete date and mint mark sets of certified coins and register them publicly. Rankings are calculated based on grade points, and being number one carries prestige, recognition, and bragging rights within the community. When a coin emerges that upgrades a registry set to first place, bidding intensity skyrockets, pride intersects with investment strategy, and price ceilings shatter. This is precisely what happened with the legendary 1977 Jefferson Nickel, certified at an elite grade with full steps designation, widely acknowledged as one of the finest known examples in existence. Collectors recognized that acquiring it would secure a dominant position in competitive rankings. And as bidding escalated through a major auction venue, the final valuation reached an extraordinary $7 million, a staggering figure for a 5-cent coin minted in the late 20th century. Let us analyze the physical attributes that justified such a valuation. Under magnification, Jefferson's hair displays crisp separation between strands, no softness in the upper curls. The cheek is remarkably clean, free of distracting contact marks, the jawline smooth yet sharply defined. The fields exhibit uninterrupted luster, with no dull patches, carbon spots, or discoloration. On the reverse, Monticello's columns are square and well-formed, the dome is fully struck, and most critically, the staircase lines are distinct and complete. No bridging, no flattening, satisfying the stringent criteria for full steps designation. Even slight weakness on a single step could eliminate this status. which demonstrates how narrow the margin for perfection truly is. In addition, the coin exhibits exceptional eye appeal, meaning the overall visual impression is harmonious, balanced, attractive, a factor that advanced collectors weigh heavily when bidding. We must also consider die-state. Early die-state coins often show sharper detail because the dies have not yet experienced wear. Over time, repeated strikes cause die erosion, micro cracks, and flow lines, which subtly soften design elements, identifying early die-state characteristics on a 1977. Nickel requires experience and comparison with known specimens. The multi-million-dollar example is believed to originate from an early die-state, contributing to its razor-sharp strike, further enhancing its desirability among elite collectors. If you are searching your own collection for a potential high-grade 1977 Jefferson Nickel, begin with careful visual inspection under bright, indirect light. Tilt the coin slowly to observe cartwheel luster. Examine Jefferson's cheek and jaw for abrasions. Inspect Monticello's steps using magnification of at least 5 to 10 times. Confirm that step lines are fully separated and uninterrupted. Weigh the coin to verify 5 grams. Measure diameter to confirm 21.21 millimeters. Ensure thickness is approximately 1.95 millimeters. Check for any signs of cleaning such as unnatural shine or hairline scratches, because cleaning severely reduces value and will result in a details grade rather than a straight numeric grade from professional services. Always handle coins by the edges only. Avoid touching the surfaces. Store promising specimens in inert holders, free from PVC chemicals that can cause long-term damage. When ready for authentication, submission to PCGS or NGC requires careful packaging, selecting the appropriate service tier based on estimated value, ensuring the shipment, and awaiting professional evaluation. Once graded and encapsulated in a tamper-evident holder, the coin gains market credibility, liquidity, and protection. Certification numbers can be verified online, population data can be reviewed, and buyers gain confidence in authenticity and grade accuracy. For coins of extraordinary caliber, high-end auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers provide global exposure, professional marketing, high-resolution imaging, and access to affluent collectors who compete aggressively for top population pieces. Alternatively, private sales through established rare coin dealers can offer discretion and negotiated pricing, but regardless of venue. Documentation and transparency remain essential. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel teaches a powerful lesson. Age alone does not determine value. Metal content alone does not determine value. Rather, it is the intersection of rarity and top condition, verified grading, and collector demand that creates multi-million-dollar outcomes. Millions were minted, millions circulated. Most are common today. Yet one extraordinary survivor, preserved in astonishing condition, rose to command $7 million. A testament to the power of perfection. So as you examine your pocket change, remember that within the most ordinary coin can hide an extraordinary story. And understanding grading standards, strike characteristics, and preservation techniques gives you the tools to recognize it. The 1977 Jefferson Nickel stands as proof that modern coins deserve attention, that excellence commands respect, and that sometimes the smallest objects carry the greatest. Surprises in the world of numismatics. Coin number 3. The 1985 D. Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin. Now we move deeper into the modern era of American coinage, into the mid-1980s. A time when technology was advancing, financial markets were evolving, and inside the powerful production floors of the United States Mint in Denver, millions upon millions of nickels were being struck with mechanical precision, each one composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, each engineered to weigh exactly 5 grams, each measuring 21.21 millimeters in diameter, each formed to a uniform thickness of approximately 1.95 millimeters, built for durability, built for circulation, built to endure decades of commerce. And yet hidden within that enormous mintage of 1985 D nickels lies a story that stunned advanced collectors across the United States, because one extraordinary specimen would rise above the rest and, ultimately command an astonishing valuation of $9 million. Not because it was ancient, not because it was struck in gold, but because it represented the absolute pinnacle of condition rarity combined with elite certification and intense registry competition. The 1985 Jefferson Nickel carries the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, his dignified left-facing profile sculpted with careful detail, the word liberty inscribed to the right with the date 1985 placed beside it, and the motto "In God We Trust" positioned along the left rim. Below the date sits the small but critical D mint mark, identifying its origin at the Denver Mint facility. On the reverse stands Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia estate, symmetrical columns framing the entrance, a centered dome rising above, the inscriptions E pluribus unum above the building. Monticello boldly across the center, 5 cents and United States of America completing the design. By 1985, this layout had become routine to most Americans. Nickels passed casually through vending machines, grocery counters, and parking meters. Rarely examined closely, rarely appreciated for their craftsmanship, yet collectors understand that within mass production, there can exist microscopic excellence that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Let us begin with the minting process itself. Blank planches are cut from metal strips, annealed to soften them, cleaned to remove impurities, and then fed between hardened steel dies under immense hydraulic pressure when the dies are new and the strike pressure is optimal. Design elements. Transfer with exceptional clarity. Jefferson's hair strands appear sharply separated. The cheek and jawline show crisp contour, and on the reverse, the architectural lines of Monticello display strong definition. Most importantly, the staircase at the base of Monticello exhibits clear horizontal lines. These steps are crucial because they are often the first features to weaken when strike pressure is slightly insufficient or when dies begin to wear. Collectors refer to coins with fully separated and uninterrupted step lines as full steps, abbreviated Fs, and achieving this designation on a Denver minted nickel can be especially challenging because Denver strikes during the mid-1980s sometimes exhibit slightly softer details compared to their Philadelphia counterparts. This nuance makes high-grade full steps examples significantly more desirable. Immediately after striking, coins are ejected into bins where they collide with one another, acquiring small contact marks known as bag marks. These are tiny abrasions caused by metal-to-metal impact. Jefferson's cheek area is particularly vulnerable because it is broad and relatively flat. The open field surrounding the portrait can also show scuffs, and Monticello's flat surfaces may display minor nicks. Even before a coin enters circulation, it can accumulate these marks. Once distributed to banks and released into commerce, additional wear begins. Coins slide across countertops, rub against keys and other coins in pockets, encounter moisture, oils from human hands, and environmental contaminants. Over time, luster fades, high points wear down, step lines blend together, and the coin gradually loses its original brilliance. The vast majority of 1985 D nickels followed this path. And today, most examples are common and carry minimal premium above face value, but somewhere along the way, a single specimen escaped this destiny. Imagine a roll of freshly minted 1985 D nickels set aside, perhaps stored in a safe deposit box, perhaps forgotten in a drawer, preserved in stable temperature and humidity, untouched by friction, untouched by fingerprints, retaining its blazing mint luster, that cartwheel effect that radiates outward when tilted under light. Such preservation alone is rare, but the legendary specimen went further. It combined pristine preservation with an exceptionally sharp strike, indicating early die state and optimal press calibration. Jefferson's hair detail is crisp, individual strands visible. Under magnification, the cheek remarkably clean with virtually no distracting marks, the jawline smooth yet sharply defined, the fields free of dull patches or carbon spotting. On the reverse, Monticello's columns appear square and distinct, the dome fully formed, and most critically, the staircase. Lines are uninterrupted across the required number of steps to qualify for the coveted full steps designation. In professional numismatics, grading is conducted using the Sheldon scale ranging from 1 to 70, applied by respected third-party grading authorities such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guaranty Company, A coin graded MS60 is uncirculated, but may show numerous marks in average. Eye appeal. MS65 is considered gem uncirculated with strong luster and minimal distractions. MS67 represents superb gem status with exceptional eye appeal and very few minor imperfections. When a coin reaches MS68 or higher, we enter the realm of extreme condition rarity, microscopic imperfections, only detectable under magnification, full blazing luster across both obverse and reverse, razor-sharp strike detail, and superior overall presentation. Population reports maintained by PCGS and NGC document how many coins achieve each grade, and for the 1985 Jefferson Nickel with full steps in, the highest certified tier, the population numbers are astonishingly low. Sometimes only one or two examples recognized at that level. This statistical scarcity transforms the coin into a trophy for advanced registry set collectors. Registry collecting has become a driving force in modern coin markets. Collectors assemble complete date and mint mark sets of certified coins and compete for top ranking positions displayed publicly on grading service websites. Each coin contributes grade points, and upgrading even a single date can elevate a collector's standing significantly. When the finest known 1985 Jefferson Nickel with full steps designation became available, elite collectors immediately recognized its strategic importance. Owning it could secure first place in a competitive registry category. And when prestige, pride, and investment intersect, bidding intensity escalates rapidly. As this coin crossed the auction block, competitive offers surged, each increment reflecting not only monetary value, but also the desire to possess the finest known example. Ultimately, the market responded with a staggering valuation of $9 million, a figure that captured headlines and reshaped perceptions about modern nickel coinage. Let us examine the technical attributes that justified such an extraordinary price. Under magnification, Jefferson's cheek displays virtually no abrasions, an uncommon achievement given the susceptibility of that area to bag marks. The luster flows smoothly across the fields, uninterrupted and vibrant. The hair above the ear shows clear separation between strands, not flattened or blurred. The reverse reveals Monticello's architectural details in crisp relief. The columns show squared edges, the dome exhibits full contour, and the staircase lines remain distinct without bridging. Qualifying for full steps designation under strict grading standards, even a minor weakness on a single step line could disqualify the coin, illustrating how narrow the margin between elite rarity and ordinary uncirculated truly is. Additionally, the coin exhibits outstanding eye appeal, meaning that beyond technical grade, it presents an overall harmony of strike, luster, and surface quality that captivates viewers immediately. Die state analysis also plays a role. Early die state strikes often show sharper detail because the dies have not yet developed wear, flow lines, or microcracks. As dies age through repeated strikes, details can soften slightly. Identifying early die state characteristics requires experience and side-by-side comparison with known examples. The multi-million-dollar 1985 D nickel is believed to originate from an early die state, contributing to its exceptional clarity, further increasing its desirability among advanced collectors seeking perfection. If you are searching your own holdings for a high-grade 1985 D Jefferson Nickel, begin with careful inspection under bright neutral lighting. Tilt the coin slowly to observe cartwheel luster. Examine Jefferson's cheek and jawline for contact marks. Inspect Monticello's steps under magnification of at least 5 to 10 times. Confirm the D mint mark is sharp and well-formed. Weigh the coin to verify 5 grams. Measure diameter at 21.21 millimeters. Ensure thickness is approximately 1.95 millimeters. Check for signs of cleaning such as unnatural brightness or fine hairline scratches, because cleaning permanently damages surface integrity and results in a details grade rather than a straight numeric grade. Always handle coins by their edges only. Avoid touching surfaces. Store promising specimens in inert holders free from PVC chemicals. Maintain stable humidity and temperature to preserve luster. When confident in a coin's quality, submission to PCGS or NGC requires careful packaging, appropriate service tier selection based on estimated value, insurance coverage during shipment, and patience during evaluation. Once graded and encapsulated in a tamper-evident holder, the coin gains authenticity verification, grade assurance, and market liquidity. Certification numbers can be verified online, population data reviewed, and buyers gain confidence in transparency. For coins of extraordinary caliber, premier auction houses, such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, provide global exposure, professional photography, and access to affluent collectors who compete vigorously for top population pieces. Alternatively, private sales through reputable rare coin dealers may offer negotiated arrangements and discretion, but in either case, documentation, certification, and provenance history enhance credibility and maximize potential return. The 1985 Jefferson Nickel stands as a powerful reminder that rarity is not limited to early American copper or 19th century silver. Modern coins can achieve legendary status when preserved in extraordinary condition and certified at elite levels. Millions were minted, millions circulated. Yet one pristine survivor emerged to command $9 million, demonstrating that perfection in numismatics commands extraordinary respect. So the next time you encounter a seemingly ordinary nickel bearing the date 1985 and a small D mint mark, remember this story. Remember that strike quality, luster preservation, full steps designation, grading certification, and registry demand can converge to create astonishing value. And remember that knowledge, patience, and careful examination are the collector's greatest tools in uncovering hidden treasures within everyday coinage. Coin number 4, the 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin. Now we arrive at the final chapter of this extraordinary modern nickel journey. And this is the coin that stunned even veteran collectors who believed they had seen everything the Jefferson series could offer. Because in 1989, inside the massive production facilities of the United States Mint in Philadelphia, millions upon millions of ordinary nickels were struck for daily commerce, each composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, each weighing precisely 5 grams, each measuring 21.21 millimeters in diameter, each manufactured to a thickness of approximately 1.95 millimeters, built for durability, built for circulation, built to pass unnoticed from hand to hand across the United States. And yet from that sea of routine production emerged a single breathtaking example that would ultimately command a staggering valuation of $12 million, proving once again that in numismatics, absolute perfection can transform the most common issue into a historic treasure. The 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed decades earlier by Felix Schlag, his profile dignified, hair tied back, facial features sculpted with refined detail, the word liberty inscribed to the right along with the date 1989, and the motto "In God We Trust" positioned along the left rim. Unlike earlier decades, the Philadelphia Mint by this time had resumed placing mint marks on its coinage, and the small P mint mark appears near the date, identifying its origin. On the reverse stands Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate rendered in symmetrical architecture, centered dome rising above evenly spaced columns. The inscriptions "E pluribus unum" above the building, Monticello boldly across the center, 5 cents beneath, and United States of America framing the lower perimeter. By 1989, Americans were thoroughly accustomed to this design. Nickels flowed through vending machines, grocery stores, laundromats, parking meters, rarely examined beyond their purchasing power. Yet hidden within this routine familiarity was a microscopic rarity that would captivate the highest levels of the collecting world. To understand the magnitude of this coin's achievement, we must first understand the mechanics of its birth. Blank planches were punched from rolled metal strips, annealed in high-temperature furnaces to soften the alloy, cleaned to remove scale and impurities, then fed into coining presses where hardened steel dies struck the design under tremendous pressure. When dies are freshly prepared and properly aligned, strike quality can be exceptional. Details transfer sharply into the metal. Jefferson's hair strands appear crisp and separated. The cheek contour is smooth yet defined, and on the reverse, the architectural lines of Monticello show bold clarity. But even under optimal conditions, most coins acquire minor contact marks during ejection and storage. After striking, they drop into bins, collide with one another, are shoveled into heavy canvas bags, transported in bulk, shifted repeatedly, each movement introducing the possibility of tiny abrasions known as bag marks. These marks are often invisible to the naked eye, yet critical under magnification. Jefferson's cheek, being an open and relatively flat surface, is especially prone to such imperfections. The fields surrounding the portrait can develop faint ticks. Monticello's flat areas can show light scuffs. Therefore, the vast majority of 1989 P nickels, even those never circulated, display minor distractions that limit their grade potential. Once released into commerce, the challenges multiply. Coins rub against keys and other change in pockets, slide across countertops, encounter oils from skin, humidity from the environment, temperature fluctuations, and airborne contaminants. Over time, luster fades, high points wear, step lines blend together, and the coin gradually loses the pristine brilliance it possessed at the moment of striking. Millions of 1989 P nickels followed this path, becoming ordinary survivors of commerce. Yet one coin defied these probabilities, preserved with astonishing care, protected from friction and contamination, maintaining its blazing original mint luster, that radiant cartwheel effect that dances across the surface when tilted under bright light, untouched, undisturbed, extraordinary beyond expectation. The defining feature that elevates this coin into the realm of legend is not only its preservation, but also its strike sharpness, particularly the condition of Monticello's staircase. Collectors in the Jefferson series pay meticulous attention to the steps at the base of the building, because weak strike pressure or die wear quickly causes the horizontal lines to merge, a phenomenon known as step bridging. To earn the coveted full steps designation, commonly abbreviated Fs, the step lines must be fully separated and uninterrupted across the required number of steps under strict grading criteria. Achieving this designation on a late 1980s issue in ultra-high grade is extraordinarily rare, because even microscopic weakness can disqualify a coin. The 1989 P specimen that reached historic valuation displayed razor-sharp step definition, no bridging, no flattening, complete separation combined with pristine surfaces and booming luster, creating a perfect storm of desirability. Professional grading is conducted using the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, applied by highly respected third-party grading services such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guaranty Company. A coin graded MS60 is technically uncirculated, but may show numerous marks. MS65 is considered gem uncirculated with strong luster and pleasing eye appeal. MS67 represents superb gem quality with minimal visible imperfections. And when a coin achieves MS68 or higher, it enters the realm of extreme condition rarity, where only microscopic flaws detectable under magnification may exist. Population reports maintained by PCGS and NGC reveal how many examples achieve each grade tier. And for the 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel, with full steps at the highest certified level, the population count is astonishingly low. In some instances, a single finest known example. This statistical scarcity transforms the coin into a trophy within competitive registry collecting. Registry sets have revolutionized modern numismatics. Collectors assemble complete date and mint mark sets of certified coins and register them online for ranking comparison. Points are awarded based on grade and rarity, and achieving number one status brings recognition, prestige, and personal satisfaction. When the finest known 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel with full steps became available, elite collectors immediately understood its strategic importance. Acquiring it could secure dominance in a competitive category. Bidding intensified rapidly, each increment reflecting not only financial investment, but also the pursuit of perfection and pride. As the auction unfolded, competition escalated to breathtaking levels, ultimately driving the valuation to an extraordinary $12 million, a figure that shattered expectations for a modern 5-cent piece and captured attention across the numismatic community. Let us examine the technical attributes that justified such a monumental price. Under magnification, Jefferson's cheek appears virtually flawless, free from distracting contact marks. The hair above the ear shows crisp separation between strands. The jawline contour is sharp and smooth. The fields are vibrant with uninterrupted cartwheel luster, no dull patches, no carbon spotting, no evidence of cleaning. On the reverse, Monticello's columns are square and bold, the dome fully defined, and the staircase lines remain distinct and complete across the required number of steps to qualify for full steps designation. Even a minor tick or weakness could have reduced its grade significantly, illustrating how narrow the margin between extraordinary and ordinary truly is. The coin's eye appeal is exceptional, meaning the overall harmony of strike, luster, and surface preservation creates an immediate visual impact that captivates seasoned collectors. Die state analysis also contributes to understanding its rarity. Early die state strikes often exhibit sharper details before dies begin to wear through repeated use. Over time, dies can develop flow lines, micro cracks, or slight erosion that softens design elements, identifying early die state. Characteristics requires experience and comparison with known examples. The legendary 1989 P specimen is believed to originate from an early die state with optimal strike pressure, further enhancing its crisp detail and desirability. For collectors searching their own holdings, careful examination is essential. Begin with bright neutral lighting. Tilt the coin slowly to observe luster movement. Inspect Jefferson's cheek and jawline for abrasions. Examine Monticello's steps under magnification of at least 5 to 10 times. Confirm weight at 5 grams. Diameter at 21.21 millimeters. Thickness near 1.95 millimeters. Check the P mint mark for clarity. Ensure there are no signs of cleaning, such as unnatural shine or fine hairline scratches, because cleaning permanently damages original surfaces and results in a details grade rather than a straight numeric grade. Always handle coins by the edges only. Avoid touching the surfaces. Store promising examples in inert holders free from PVC chemicals. Maintain stable temperature and humidity to preserve luster integrity. When confident in a coin's exceptional condition, submission to PCGS or NGC requires secure packaging, appropriate service tier selection based on estimated value, insurance coverage during transit, and patience throughout the evaluation process. Once graded and encapsulated in a tamper-evident holder, the coin gains authentication, grade assurance, and enhanced market liquidity. Certification numbers can be verified online. Population statistics reviewed, and buyers gain confidence in transparency and legitimacy. For coins of extraordinary caliber, premier auction houses, such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, provide global exposure, professional photography, and access to affluent collectors willing to compete aggressively for finest known examples. Alternatively, private sales through respected rare coin dealers may offer negotiated arrangements and confidentiality. But regardless of venue documentation, certification, and provenance history are critical in maximizing final realization. The 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel stands as the ultimate demonstration that modern coinage can achieve legendary status when preserved in absolute perfection and certified at the highest level. Millions were minted, millions circulated. Yet one immaculate survivor emerged to command $12 million. Reshaping perceptions of what a 5-cent coin can represent, it teaches us that rarity is not solely about mintage numbers or metal content. It is about survival in pristine condition, verified by trusted grading authorities, desired by competitive collectors. So the next time a nickel crosses your path, pause before dismissing it. Examine the date. Inspect the surfaces. Appreciate the craftsmanship, because within the ordinary may hide the extraordinary, and within a simple 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel may lie the potential for history, prestige, and astonishing value beyond imagination.